Elon Musk. I'm Sarah McBride from Reuters, and I'll just go right into my first question, which is, what's the ideal number of companies for somebody to run?
One, I'd say. Definitely not more than one.
So what happened? Is your goal to get back to one company?
I think I'll probably be running one company in the very long term. But at least for the next several years, I'll be running two.
So which one do you think you'll stick with long term? Or a third one that we don't even know about?
Well, I should probably not comment on that exactly, but I think the most important thing is that at least for the next several years, probably at least 5 years, I will be running Tesla and SpaceX.
Okay, because a lot of people might think that you're at a good position to, I mean, Tesla's now profitable, the stock's up over $100. I think people might believe, oh, this would be a good time for Elon Musk to step down from Tesla, but you don't see it that way.
No, I mean the main thing is that I committed to get our mass production vehicle into market, or which is our sort of affordable long-range car, our third-generation car, and that I think is probably going to be 4 years before we're in production and 5 years before we are in high-volume production.
Okay, and so see that through and then reevaluate.
Yeah.
Okay. And then later this week, you're going to do a battery swapping demonstration. What led you to do this now? I thought that perhaps a few years ago you'd said it wasn't right for Tesla cars to do that. Was there some big change in technology, or what made you get to this point?
Well, actually, I was quite insistent on designing in battery pack swap for the Model S. We don't have that capability for the Roadster.
Okay.
But it was very important to address the long-range question for the Model S, and it's important to preserve optionality. So in designing the Model S, I made sure that we could do battery pack swap, rapid battery pack swap, and convenient, and then also do very high-speed charging.
So are we at a point now where it'll be very easy for people to do that? Because the battery is pretty large, right?
It is.
Okay.
But it's in the floor plan.
Okay.
And it's capable of being removed and replaced very quickly.
Okay. And
people will see just how quick that is on Thursday evening.
Can you give us a hint?
Really quick.
Under 2 minutes?
Could be.
I'm wondering, like, when the majority of cars in the U.S. will no longer have, traditional gas.
Okay.
Yeah.
So maybe I can sort of say when do I think that most cars in production, most cars being produced will be electric? I think that's probably going to be by 2030, something like that.
Okay, so 20 years from now, more or less.
Yeah, 17, a little less than 20, sometime close 15 to 20 years from now.
And this week, the Journal reported that you were having some problems with your network of basically your sales system, and in some states not being able to set up the storage. Right. So what can you do to fight that? I was reading about how much clout these auto dealers have, and just the millions in sales taxes they generate for states each year. What can you do to go up against that very formidable opponent of franchise auto dealers?
Well, I do think that is a tough battle we face. And I'm not sure I don't think we necessarily have all the answers. We do believe, I certainly believe that if we were to go through the regular franchise system, that we would not succeed, because it takes a lot more effort to sell an electric car than a gasoline car. So if you're a car salesperson and you could just sell the same old thing you sold before, or you can say, well, here's this electric car, it costs more, it's different, and you've got to spend twice as much effort selling, you're not going to do that. It doesn't make much sense, as there's very little motivation to do that. And then An electric car also has very little servicing revenue, so it takes much less. There's much less service revenue to be obtained for the dealer, and most dealers make most of their revenue from servicing. So it's harder to sell, and then they make less money on service. So for sure, we would be the last thing that they would sell, and so we would not succeed. That's why we've not used the regular franchise system. So we've gone direct, but then they're fighting us going direct, and I think more because they're concerned about other car companies going direct than Tesla specifically, because Tesla's sales are very small compared to the national sales. I mean, I think there's something like 12 to 15 million new cars sold every year, and we do 20,000. So obviously that's not making much of a dent, but they're worried about creating a precedent for direct sales. And then in terms of how we're actually going to fight them, I guess we're mostly trying to rally the people within the states to who believe that there should be the freedom to sell things directly, and we do get a lot of popular support. So whenever there's a survey done in say North Carolina or Texas, the lowest percentage we've ever seen for supporting direct sales is 86%. It varies from 86% in favor of direct sales to 99%. And these are not polls that Tesla commissioned. These are polls done by various newspapers.
When do you think you might start applying more resources to this?
I think we're going to have to ramp it up in the next few months.
And what does that entail?
I think we'll have to probably hire some local legal firms. I don't know, to fight battles on the local legal front. Add more people to the business development team to go and talk to state level politicians. I'm going to have to apply time personally to do this, and we'll do our best. I don't think we're going to win every battle, but we'll try to win as many as we can.
Can I go back a second to the battery swapping thing? So is there a plan in place for all that infrastructure that you need? I mean, you need a lot of these things to make it useful, right? Yeah. Is that something that Tesla's going to finance, or?
Yeah. So we've got these supercharging stations that we've got about a dozen of them active around the country, and we're planning on having ultimately a couple of hundred, basically to cover the entire country. Mm-hmm. And you only need a few hundred to cover the entire United States. Because if you've got a car with a 200-mile range and you just sort of do 200-mile circles around the country, it actually doesn't take that many. Depending upon what the level of demand is for battery pack swap, we will have swap capability at every one of the Tesla stations. Mm-hmm. So you'll be able to travel anywhere in the country using battery pack swap if the demand is there from customers.
And how much is it going to cost?
Well, I can't let I can't let the whole cat out of the bag. Well, I'll.
Sure you can.
Is this embargoed?
No.
Okay. So I'll talk about the economics of it on Thursday night. But I think it's going to be. I mean, we want it to be compelling. So I think it will be. I think it will be fairly compelling.
Mm-hmm. And is that going to be a substantial capital investment for Tesla? I mean, a material kind of capital investment?
I don't think it's going to be not a huge one. I mean, if we were to roll it out across the country, it's probably would cost us $50 to $100 million, which is, I mean, it's not pocket change, but it's not a giant number.
Not huge.
Yeah.
Right. To switch gears for a minute, I wanted to ask about SpaceX. Mm-hmm. I believe you said in the past that you'd never went to IPO SpaceX. Is that the case, and if so, what's your thinking behind that?
Yeah, there was a time when I thought IPO might make sense for SpaceX early on, but I come to the conclusion, sort of with the experience of Tesla and Solar City, that the stock market is fairly short-term oriented. I mean, I guess, you know, really? It's somewhat cliche, but after having had many conversations with investors who would tell me that at one hand that they're long term, but on the other hand they've got to write their annual shareholders letter, and it's they don't know what and we didn't quite make the numbers for that quarter, and then their careers riding on it. Like, oh man, this is rough. So I came to the conclusion that it's probably not a great idea to take SpaceX public until we really have built the technology necessary to take people to Mars, which admittedly could be a while. Hopefully not too long, but it could take a while to do that. But it's difficult to say to the street, hey, we're building this technology to take people to Mars. It's going to really pay off in 12 years. When you've had 2 career changes. There's that's a hard one for them to swallow, I think.